What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to the live preview for Arsenal versus Manchester United at the Emirates, 12:30 on Saturday.
What's wrong with you, man? Where's your energy? What's with all the...
Actually, before we do the game, you know what I mean? Welcome. There's a bit of a chair in the way there. That's annoying. But big up, man. The United View HQ Part 2. Big up. Everyone can see it. This is the second part of it. Yeah, man.
I like the setup.
Not ramping.
Moving up.
100K, 101K now there as well.
Congratulations, man. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
There you go, man. People saying turn up the volume as well. It's a little bit low, so there's always seems to be some. You know what I mean? Turn up the volume, pump up the volume. We're gonna do that for you guys. Don't worry about that. So welcome. Arsenal versus Man United. These guys know my thoughts and feelings on the team. You guys have seen that. So I'm gonna you're the guest. Talk to me about how you feel about this game.
Yeah, like, listen. Probably before the Chelsea game, I'd have been a bit flat going into the game because, you know, I know all the Manchester United fans have been talking about the problems that you guys have been having, and I saw it for myself the other night in that Liverpool game. You weren't lying. You weren't lying. But we've also been having big problems at Arsenal. You know what I mean? We've been playing some good football, but the last 3 games, 3 defeats in a row, when we were in a great position to get into that top 4. And before last night, I think there was a lot of doom and gloom around the game for me, because I was just looking at it and thinking, you know, that game's just going to end up being flat. But we went to Chelsea. We got a fantastic performance out of the team. We got a fantastic result, scored 4 goals as well. And now I can't wait for the game against Manchester United. I can't wait for that game. You know what I mean? I think, you know, the confidence that has given the Arsenal team and giving the Arsenal fans and giving the players, it's, you know, we can't wait. I wish the game was tomorrow. You know what I mean? Let's play the game tonight. You know what I mean? You know, especially when I'm contrasting it with, you know, what's going on at Man United. I know they announced Ten Hag today to try and give it a bit of a boost. To me, I don't know, I'm not a United fan, but I don't think that gives it much of a boost, because we already knew that Ten Hag was coming anyway, right? And
he ain't there.
Then, you know, but even that, like, you got the announcement on Ten Hag, but then at the same time comes the news that, you know, Harry Maguire is getting bomb threats.
That's disgusting, by the way.
Which is absolutely disgusting, but that's almost like that's killed the whole sort of, you know, uplift that the Ten Hag thing was bringing. So, listen, I can't wait for the game, Flex. I really can't wait for it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear you say any of the things you just said, to be honest. I'm the complete opposite. Obviously, we are the complete opposite. I've seen our players just absolutely give up, you know? I look at them and say, I challenged them to kind of do it before the Liverpool game, even though I knew we'd take a hide, and I said 3-0 minimum, and then when I saw the lineup, I said 4. And I was spot on. But I challenged her. I said, forget that even fans and that you play for. As a man, as a professional, as a human, show something about yourself. And I would not have left. That they shouldn't have left that, and they shouldn't have left Anfield on the bus without a tear up in that dressing room. People going in on each other, no accountability. But that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have happened. And they've checked out. And I look at how I predicted we'd lose this game regardless of what happened midweek, because I predicted we would lose and you would lose. I thought we'd both be going into this off the back of real poor form, and we're both sets of fans looking at it like 2 crap teams, probably a 0-0 or whatever. You don't think you're in the top 4 race anymore. We know we've been out of it for ages, but you'd still probably nick it because it's at home. Now you've gone and beaten Chelsea in the manner that you did. You played on the front foot. We'll talk a little bit more about what confidence that gave your team and your individuals. But now I've seen that you've done that. You're back into the top 4 race. The confidence is up. 12:30, Emirates packed out, fans on it. Arteta will be saying, go for them. This is a fragile Man United. And I said it on the Invincible podcast, didn't I? I said, shame on you if you don't beat this Man United side. Shame on you. Because
reverse psychology is trying to use it.
It's not reverse psychology. I'm just being honest.
That's shame on you. Listen, at the end of the day, this is a great opportunity for us going into this game, because we know that Manchester United are fragile, like you said. However, you know, still got top players. You know what I mean? Cristiano Ronaldo is Cristiano Ronaldo. He's still a GOAT. You know what I mean? Even with all what's been going on this season, he's still a GOAT. He's
Apparently,
still
it was the problem at one point. People were telling us.
I could never understand that. Remember, I said to you when people were saying that, I'm like, listen, you build a team around a guy like that because he's an exceptional player. So he's still going to be there. He's still got Bruno. Any of your players, they've got so much talent. If they turn up, it's going to be an issue, isn't it? So, I just want to make sure, I want Mikel Arteta to make sure that the players don't take the game lightly. But I do want us to play with the same energy, with the same intensity that we played with against Chelsea. Because remember, going away from home and playing like that, I thought was brilliant. I've seen a few performances like that from Arsenal this season. It's what upset me with the last 3 defeats, because I was like, you know, especially the Brighton one. You know what I mean? We lacked intensity, but for a lot of games, even some of the games we've lost, like when we played Liverpool at home, we played with a lot of intensity. We were good. It's just that they were, you know, they're an exceptional team. When we played Man City, the same thing. So I think if we bring that intensity to the table against Manchester United, I think we've got a very, very good chance of beating them. And I think if we beat you guys on Saturday, you're out of it. You're out of the top 4. You're not out of it already. Robbie. I know you said that when you was on Invincible podcast over on AFTV. You're not. You're 3 points behind Arsenal. You're 3 points behind Tottenham. You're not out of it. You will be out of it if you lose on Saturday. That's what I'd say. You will be out of it.
Is you're going to rock up at the Emirates, yeah? You got one of these nails, yeah, little hammer.
Yeah. Nailing the coffin.
It's the final one.
Listen, I hope so.
Yeah, no.
I hope so. But listen, I'm uncomfortable with you talking in this little doom and gloom way. It's to me, it's a reverse psychology. You're trying, you know what I mean? I know what you're trying to do, man. You're trying to talk it right down so that hopefully they'll shock you. There'll be some sort of surprise and some sort of uplift. But I ain't buying it, right? And I hope that the Arsenal players don't buy it. This is a serious game. Man United have still got a big chance of getting into the top 4. End off. That's how Arsenal got to look at that game. Our job is to let's get you out of that. Let's knock you guys out of that race on Saturday. If we can do that, then we got a great chance of getting the top 4. Got to win this game, Arsenal.
I can see why, from your position, as an Arsenal fan, that you would be sceptical of saying, no, I don't care how bad they're playing. They still got Ronaldo, and I get it. If I was you and you was in the mud as much as we are, and you were coming to Old Trafford with everything that's been going on, literally role reversal, I'll be saying, no, Arteta can still get. No, you don't know. I'm telling you now, this team has had these same question marks after Liverpool 5-0, Man City 4-1, Watford 4-1. Leicester 4-2, Southampton 1-1 at home, scraping wins against Norwich at home and away. This team, Newcastle away 1-1, 2-0 up at Villa, 2-2 draw. I could go on and on and on and on, where we've looked at this squad and gone, surely they've got to bounce back, man. That's poor. They've failed time and time again. They've checked out, Robbie. I don't see, and this is me being honest, I don't see how we might have a few players back. We'll talk about teams and stuff like that in a minute, but I don't see how they show enough spirit, enough gut, enough grit, enough togetherness, enough spine at the Emirates away from home. I don't see how they do it. I honestly don't. Yeah, but
listen. There's enough players there of enough quality that if we're not in our game, you can hurt us. So. Listen, I'm not an idiot. I can see that Manchester United are in the mud. I saw that performance against Liverpool. You were terrible. I've seen other performances, including even when we went to Old Trafford and we lost. I didn't really think you deserved to win that game that day. When you beat Tottenham, I didn't think you deserved to win that.
Ronaldo masterclass,
you know what I mean? It's been Cristiano Ronaldo that's been carrying the team, but he'll be playing. Right, he'll probably be playing.
Yeah,
right.
Will be, yeah.
So that's the risk. But I just want Arsenal to go there and just do our thing, play our game, and play with a lot of intensity. Because I think if we play with a lot of intensity, United are not going to like that. You know what I mean? And I think if we do that, we'll play like how we played against Chelsea.
Yeah, we won't have an answer for that.
I think we can win the game.
That intensity. That's what I'm saying. I watched that game. Against Chelsea last night, and what impressed me the most about what you're doing, yes, people can say Chelsea rotated and they changed their formation, doesn't matter. It's in their backyard. And what impressed me the most about what you did yesterday was you was aggressive. You was aggressive. Even when you gave up silly goals where usually the confidence might go. When Azpilicueta got it back to 2-2, it was all you to the end of that first half. And you came out second half, absorbed a bit of pressure.
And by the way, this rotate Chelsea. I've heard a few Chelsea fans. We rotated as well. Mohamed El Neni was playing, right? Eddie Nketiah came in. You know what I mean? We rotated as well.
Tavares is in there now.
Yeah, so you know we're missing players too. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, these Chelsea fans trying to make excuses, man. You got done at your own yard, right? Brock up, right? Remember that.
That's
right?
true. And they've conceded 4 against Brentford, 3 against Real Madrid, and 4 against the last 3 home games.
Yeah, and to be fair, they were coming off of a run of 3 wins. Right, in those 3 games you meant. But listen, we put in a great performance in that game. Now we got to go and do it again because you're fragile. We've been fragile too. We lost the previous 3 games leading up to that, so we can't take nothing for granted. We have to go and put in a good performance because Manchester United have good individuals. I know they're playing poor. Cristiano Ronaldo, Jadon Sancho, Rashford if he turns up.
No, he's not going to turn up.
I said if he turns up, you know what I mean?
No.
So,
which is no.
I'll be quite impressed this season with like guys like Fred. I think he's played well.
Fred's been probably arguably one of our most consistent players this season in what's slim pickings. Super chat here from Shahil says the way the top 4 race has gone so far, it wouldn't be surprising if if United beat Arsenal. We're 3 for 3 against Arsenal and Spurs this season. Wow.
Yeah, but
stranger things have happened, but I just can't see it.
3 for 3. Yeah, he's right. Yeah. I think you were very fortunate to beat us at Old Trafford. Remember, we gave away a stupid penalty at the end.
Fred.
But I just feel that Arsenal at home. I think if we would have lost the other night, but I think that's given a lot of spirit to this team, man.
Yeah.
As I said, all of those players will be like, "Can't we play the game now?"
You know Straight after. If you would have offered them, go from Stamford Bridge, get on the coach, go up the M6 and play straight away.
That's the spirit.
We'll have a 3-hour rest and then we'll play.
Yeah, the spirit of that team is like, we're ready. Whereas it's the opposite with United. You know what I mean? That I think a lot of those players
season
are like,
can't finish quick enough.
Let's finish the season.
100%. Another super chat here from Sully says if CR7 turns up, we got a chance. If he has a bad game, we are doomed. Only him and De Gea are trying. And the thing about CR7 having a good game, it's like the team needs to half give him something. You know what I mean? I know we can make things out of nothing, but even when we weren't great against Spurs when we beat them and he scored a hat-trick, Fred still had to give it round the corner quickly. There's a little flick round the corner, then he took 1 touch, goal. Like, you still have to give him something. He can't just pick the ball up, beat 3 players and do it all on his own. You still have to give him something, and I just worried that we won't get that something. I think... I mean, if we're talking about the game and the players, I'll ask you in a sec, like who you think's going to start the game and that, and we'll talk about our team. But in terms of the way the 2 teams are going to approach it, I think if Arsenal start very quickly, which they should, and on us, I see a similar pattern to what it was against Liverpool. I know you're not as good as Liverpool, and it might not be to that level, but the principle of we can't get out, we have to keep hacking it clear, the ball keeps coming back. You're pressing us, forcing us into touch, getting corners. I just see that kind of frantic start. If we can ride that first 50, because you got to remember, we was behind after 6 minutes against Liverpool and in a back 5. We won't play a back 5 this time, which is good. But I just think if you start in that vein against us, which is on the front foot, at home, at it, crowd up, we'll crumble, we'll buckle, and we'll buckle early.
We're definitely going to. I think we'll definitely start like that. I think team-wise, I'm not even sure if he'll make any changes. I think he might go with the same team. Why change it after they've had such a big result? And the one thing I think you can be assured of at home, because I've seen it in all the games when we've played the big teams, is we're not sitting back. We're going to be on the front foot and we will be pressing. You know what I mean? Eddie Nketiah, Martin Odegaard, they'll be, Saka, they'll all be leading the press from the front.
Does he go with the same team again? I'll take exactly the same team.
I feel he will. There was, I don't think there's no injury concerns. The season's running down. Yes, there was a few players the other night that was sort of playing. The only thing I'm thinking is that maybe if Tomiyasu's fit, does he then make, because he did train before that the game against Chelsea, even though he went in the squad. If he's fit, could he possibly come back in at right back
and then take out Holding?
Or could you possibly bring back in, could you possibly bring back in Cedric at right back and take out and put Ben White back into the centre back position? Well. He has been playing well, you know what I mean? So I could see that as a change because I think the tactical change was to try and match up what Chelsea do. Whereas United more play with a back four, don't they?
Back four, yeah.
And we're at home. We're at home, so I don't see it like the Chelsea game. It's going to be a different type of game. I don't think it'll be like that type of game when we're not, we didn't have a lot of possession. I see us having a lot of possession in this game, but it'll be front foot. You know what I mean? We were front foot against Liverpool. We were front foot against Manchester City. So to me, we've got to be front foot against Man United. We're front foot when we played against West Ham. Yeah, you know what I mean,
you're at your best when you're like that.
Yeah,
you're not a team that can kind of.
And we've got young,
exciting
players, and you know what I mean. There were six English players in that Arsenal team the other night. All the goals scored were from academy players. Eddie Nketiah with 2. Saka and Smith Rowe. So these guys, they're hungry. They want to do something this season. They want to get in the top 4. I'm loving watching them play. As I said, the previous 3 games, that's what worries me because the obviously we got blew away by Palace. The Brighton game, we put in a very lackluster performance. Maybe did we underestimate Brighton? We shouldn't be because but that was a very poor. But the Southampton game, I did think that the intensity was there. I think that was against the runner play when they scored. It really was. And they just battened down the hatches and held on. We had about 23 shots in the game. And then we stepped it up again for the Chelsea game. So maybe we're coming back to ourselves after that international break.
Sonic Quantum says, big up to you two legends. Feel like Arsenal will get a result against us. Laugh my ass off. Saka or Emma Smith Rowe will probably break Maguire's ankles or something. I don't know. Glory, Man United though. Hopefully a 2-1 or 1-0 win if I'm being optimistic. That's being very optimistic. And Bertrand, thank you for the contribution. Didn't make a comment, but thank you for the contribution. Appreciate that, bro. And another one, Nate H says, Robbie, Arsenal are getting done on Saturday. Nate. Listen,
okay,
Nate, dog. Nate's saying, boy, listen, that's what's going to happen. Bertrand says also, we are getting slapped out here. Arsenal are going to have a field day. So that's a bit more to the general term. But there are some Man United fans that are saying, no, still Arsenal. Don't matter how poor we're playing, we still have their number, but not at the Emirates.
But when
recently,
when have they had
17-18 was the last time we won. I was about
to say, when you had their number at the Emirates, behave, man.
Yeah,
not at the Emirates.
No,
even at Old Trafford recently, we ain't done too badly. It's only the defeat earlier on in the season. So listen, bring it on, man. Bring it on.
We have obviously had the Ten Hag announcement today. You touched on it at the beginning of the video, saying, you know what I mean, it's not going to make much difference. I completely agree with you. It is good. This is the first time obviously I'm getting to speak to you guys about it. Big up to Owen. He done the video earlier with his reaction. I just feel like some people have said to me, oh, Flex, you don't seem like massively excited that Ten Hag here. And it's not even anything against him. I think we should be excited that we've got a manager on the up and he looks like he's capable of big things. But we're just so far off it right now. It's just one of many decisions that need to start happening. The first one is getting him in, but at the moment, it's great because in the summer we start planning, cool, that's fine. But right now, in this game on Saturday, and the game after that against Chelsea, and the game after that against, I think, Brentford, whoever it is, and then Brighton Palace, doesn't help us because it's not like Ten Hag is, over here, he's in the stands, he's already met the players and all this. He's in a title race in Ajax. These are just, it's only a formal thing that's been done. I don't think it has any bearing on Saturday.
Seems like, you know what? If I'm being honest, right, it's like a desperation thing. That's almost, the guy still, leave the guy to finish his job that he's got. If I was an Ajax fan, I'd be annoyed. Yeah. Even though they all know he's going and that. Yeah. But why does it have to be announced now?
Because we needed a little something.
It's a desperation thing to give a little lift ahead of that Arsenal game.
They would have agreed to it.
But for me, it makes no difference. The last time with the Rangnick one, that kind of did because it was like he was in the stands. Yeah. He was the guy coming in. He'd been to the training ground, met them. You know what I mean? That you were thinking to yourself, this is going to give him a little lift. The fans were really excited as well. I remember at the time, the United fans about Rangnick coming in, right? So I think it's a lot different. With this one, I think every United fan already knew it's the worst kept secret out there.
What do you think, as a rival fan? What do you think of Eric Ten Hag? Do you think it's a good appointment for Man United?
Listen,
considering what's available out there, Pochettino waiting for the likes of Enrique to finish at Spain in the World Cup, or getting Lopetegui, or obviously we miss Conte. But Eric Ten, what as an Arsenal fan, do you think? You know what, he could do something.
I think let's wait and see.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ten Hag, the jury's still going to be out. He's done brilliantly at Ajax, but we all know that Ajax are by far the strongest team in that league. People talk about Pochettino bottling it, why they didn't get him. But then I remember Ten Hag bottling it against Pochettino in the Champions League. You know what I mean? He plays a very attractive brand of football. So I think if you're a United fan, you want to see an attractive brand. You want to see exciting football. But is he going to have enough time to put his hallmark on that Manchester United team? That is the difference. Do you, the patience, is the patience going to be there? I mean, you see even today, this is how intense and crazy it is in this league, that players are getting threatened with bombs. Because
can we just say on that? Yeah. Can we just say quickly? I have to say this to Jessica. Like, we've all, Manchester United fans, we've all been very critical of Harry Maguire's performances. Should he be the captain? No. Poor interviews pre and post games, and talking about his football, ability since he's come to Manchester United. But to then go and send emails through, bomb threats through emails, and overstep that mark, that's disgusting. Like, I don't understand what goes through somebody's head to be so angry at the footballing side of things, which I agree with. He's not been good enough. He's under scrutiny. We can all be vocal about that. But then somebody thinks, I know what I'll do to this will clear it up. Let me send a bomb threat to his house and his family. And
it's absolutely disgusting.
And then on top of that, what that does is completely move the conversation away from the criticism.
It's overshadowed the Ten Hag thing as well, I feel.
Exactly.
It's overshadowed the Ten Hag thing. And especially particularly in a week when, on the one hand, we saw the class of fans, where the Liverpool fans were there, clapping the Cristiano Ronaldo, and after the tragic events that's happened around him. And we've seen the tragic events around what happened with Cristiano Ronaldo and his family. And then this idiot, I don't call it, as a matter of fact, personally, I don't call that person a Man United fan. I just call that person a total scumbag. That's not a fan to me. That's not a football fan. He shouldn't, because when people say a Man United fan sent that, I don't think that's a fan. I don't think any Man United fan in their right, no matter how upset you are, would even fathom doing something like that.
It's like when they go to players' houses and mash up the house.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Kind of things.
Absolutely ridiculous. But the point I was trying to make, it just shows, though, the absolute spotlight that these players are under and pressure that they're under from, the fans. They want success at Man United. Now, are they going to give Ten Hag the time to implement? He's built something at Ajax. We talk about Ajax. Ajax is all about building teams. Every year they lose their best players, then they build again, and they bring players through, and they build. And are United gonna give him the time to do that? I've seen it at Arsenal with Mikel Arteta. So far, they've actually given him time. You have to be real. He's had 2 8th place finishes, were not good enough as far as I'm concerned.
And if he doesn't get the
owners of the club have still said, no, this is our guy. We recognise that this is a process of rebuilding, and we are going to give him time. Now, some people disagree with that, some people agree with that, but in order to build something, you need time, but you don't get it in football. Yeah. Now, what some of the positives from Mikel Arteta has been, the players that he's brought in have been good. The younger players have gotten better. So you've seen the growth of Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli. You've seen the growth of these guys, right? You've seen the growth of guys like Gabriel, Ben White, and then you've seen the growth of the other, the players that he's brought in, like Tomiyasu, These guys have been, Ramsdale, great signing. So, but you need time. You need time.
There's a really good comment here from Sam, actually, as a Liverpool fan. I mean, he laughs at the end, but big up to Sam. He says, as a Liverpool fan, can I suggest that you guys stay in your lane? Don't overreact over a couple of wins or losses. Wait 4 or 5 years. Your team will be great, but I don't know about winning trophies, with the little ending bit there. But the principle, people who know about this kind of process all too well.
Liverpool have been through that.
Liverpool have been through it, and Klopp is probably, obviously, and Pep. But if you look at what Klopp was doing, because at Man City, they had the money. The takeover was already done when Pep got there. They had some quality players and a bigger basis to work off. Already had Aguero, already had David Silva, already had company. But when you look at what Klopp did, and that's why you don't want to be taking advice off Liverpool fans, but sometimes you have to be humble and say, look at the process. Ralph Rangnick always alluded to it because he knows Jurgen Klopp very well, and a lot of them players. He's bought some of them before. They ended up at Liverpool. He said, you look at what Jurgen Klopp's built here. It doesn't. If you get the recruitment right, sometimes you can do it in 3 windows. He said it took them 3 windows to have a competitive team. Not a team that's polished but a competitive team. Because I look at our team now, and I said it yesterday on the show with Marcel, who was on here. I said, I look at us now, and I'm like, I know you shouldn't really do this as a United fan, but we have to be where we are. Forget Man City. Forget Liverpool. They're the finished articles. They are polished and top-notch. Forget breaking into the top 4. I look at teams like Wolves. I look at teams like Brighton. I look at teams like West Ham. And I'm not saying I want to be them, but in terms of the principle of they've built a team where I look at them, they all play for each other. The manager knows what they're doing. The types of players they buy accompany other players that they have. We need to get to that stage first of getting the basics right. Just looking like a solid team. Week in, week out, you know how Man United are going to play. Week in, week out, you know how Man United are going to approach the game. Transfer window to transfer window, you can see a clear, even what Arsenal have done. I'm not naive enough or kind of too big to admit that there's been parallels that I always look at it as our Arsenal banter club where, we get AFTV after you've lost, we'll tune in. But when you look at the parallels between us and you've actually quietly gone about it, like you said, and backed Arteta, and it might not be perfect now. And it might not even end up perfect, but you've shown willingness to do that. And that's actually what we need to do. We actually need to do that.
Sometimes, listen, if you're going to be, the saying that we all know, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? And I think in hindsight, when you look back at Manchester United, what they tried to do at the start of the season was build Rome in a day. You know what I mean? I mean, the players that they brought in, I thought that they'd be competing for the league this year. Yeah, right?
So did I.
But at the end of the day, the question, what you said, they're not a team.
No.
They're individuals. They've got some fantastic individuals that if you give them, you give them their time and space and that, they will do the business. I think Arsenal are more of a team. I think Arsenal, it's the opposite. It's kind of the opposite. We don't have the superstars that Manchester United have.
You can do with like 1 or 2 now.
Yeah, that's what we could actually do with a couple of yes, that's what we're lacking. I'm hoping that in the summer now, Arsenal can go and do that because Arsenal's first 11 can compete with most teams. When Tierney's in there, Thomas Partey, that's a good 11, but it could do with a really top-notch striker up front and a couple of top-notch additions to that. Add 3 world-class players to that Arsenal team, and all of a sudden you're going to see a different Arsenal. But it takes time, it takes building. But boy, listen, I run a fan channel, man. I know fans don't have patience. Simple as that.
That's the most important thing we've got to show.
But is Ten Hag going to be that guy who comes in because the one thing I would say with Mikel Arteta, I think fans have had a lot of patience with him. You don't hear loads of fans calling for him to go and stuff like that. Even after we lost the first 3 games of the season, people were like, if you don't beat Norwich at home, now we're going to have to, So I think there has to be a change in the attitude of Man United fans that, listen, Rome ain't built in a day. It ain't going to happen overnight. Just because we've got Ronaldo and Sancho in, it's not complete. Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done.
One thing,
if they treat Ten Hag and say we're going to give you time, he could possibly be the guy that they need because his style of football and everything is really, really good. Yeah, and he is one of the most spoken about managers in European football, and he plays that intense modern day style of football. And and he's obviously a winner.
Yeah.
So
Amir says, I feel like this game against Arsenal is where the filming of the United Rebuild documentary should start. And Nate H says, I can't wait to see Robbie's tears after the match. I don't know.
Well,
might be tears of joy, mate. You might win 5-0 and you couldn't believe it. You start crying.
I was getting bared at this week off of Chelsea fans, right? And now they're all in hiding.
Yeah.
So, be careful what you're saying, man.
Yeah. Sonic says, in a weird way, I'm glad this bad season happened because, in my opinion, the football performances and obviously the results this season have created the biggest wake-up call for the fans and the club in years. Example, Ralph. I 100% agree with that, Sonic. And it's not saying I'm happy my team's losing. This is good. No. But in terms of the gravitational impact that it actually needs to have, I don't want us to scrape by and just get a top 4. So then it changes the plans for the summer to say, you know what? After an awful season, we got lucky there. Let's go and get a Declan Rice for 150 million and then blow, that much money on one player. Do you know what I mean? Let's go and get a Harry Kane for 100 million and this, that, and the other. They need to feel where we really are. It needs to be a true representation. And I feel like if we just nick it, that won't be the case. Let me make sure I've read all the super chats, which I think I have. Nate H, we read that one. We've read that one. And Nate H says, no, Arsenal are too gassed up right now, fam. Nate H is...
No, the thing is about it as well, we're not. Listen, we know we just come off the back. Before that Chelsea game, we lost 3 games in a row. So Arsenal fans are real right now. We're being realists. That's why I'm not falling for the trap of it's going to be a walk in the park against Man United because they got spanked by Liverpool. Liverpool are, they're Man City, they're miles ahead, and they spank anybody on any given day. I'm not getting gassed up by that. We're not Liverpool. But we're at home. The fans are going to be up for it. The players are going to be up for it now. We have a very good chance of winning that game. If we beat Manchester United, I think we knock them out of the race and put ourselves in a great position to get into that top 4. Tottenham have got a tricky little game against Brentford away.
Yeah,
that won't be easy. We need to, we need to. No point in how I look at it. No point in beating Chelsea and then not trying to take advantage of a fragile Man United. But I'm under no illusions, man. There's quality players in that team. De Gea, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jadon Sancho, Rashford. Even Maguire. I don't think he's as bad a defender. Listen, he's had a shocking season. I don't think he's as bad a defender. When he plays for England, he always does well for England. So
he's awful, Robbie, man. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. No, you know me, innit? I'm not a fan that likes to, like go after players and he grabbed it up. That's just not me. But I've waited to see evidence. I've waited to try and see what I can see.
What's awful about him?
Positionally, right? Always out of position. Mobility wise, he can't move.
Yeah, you knew that already.
He can't move. There's this thing that he's really good on the ball, or he can play in that.
Used to be when he first come to you guys.
Give him time and space with a Leicester team that protects him and they don't play on the front foot. Yeah, he can ping it out to fine. At Man United, when we were expected to defend higher and try and put teams under pressure and play on the front foot, no. In one-on-one situations, there's been a couple of games, I'll give it to him, where he's aggressive in his defending, so he doesn't get turned. But and you got to remember, and leadership. There's no accountability. The list goes on. Running into players, clumsy, calamitous. I have to say, I've tried to. I never want to see a player fail at my club. Of course I don't. I would love nothing more than Maguire to just turn it around, start it from Saturday, and show that actually he's an £80 million defender. He's calm on the ball. He's commanding in situations. He understands. He's got, like, as the boxers would say, ring awareness. Knows where he needs to be. Never gets dragged out. Isn't too slow on the ball. I would love to say all these things, and I would love for it to happen. But for what I've seen, I just don't see how it happens. He's incredibly bad. Wow. From my own assessment. That's what I have to say.
Hopefully he's incredibly bad on Saturday.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know as well, a little bit of a news show, just some quotes that David De Gea has been saying on the Man United outlet. and on BT as well about Ten Hag. He says, I think Ten Hag plays very good football. Now we have to be focused on the last games, but we are excited for this. Now let's focus on Arsenal and fight for top 4. Eric Ten Hag, very excited. The club has made this decision. So now we all know. We know what he has done for Ajax, and he has nearly been in the Champions League final, won titles, and he develops players. So I'm very excited. And he said also that it's good to know that Ten Hag is already watching the games. Yeah, he better be, because he needs to know what he's walking into and thinking about what he can do to change us. I'm looking forward to working with him. He also said something about building a proper team now as well, which is good. So just to let you guys know,
I wonder if he's got a release clause.
Who, Ten Hag?
Yeah, they can release him. They can release him before the season starts.
I'm out of here.
If it's really bad,
I'm out of here, mate. If he's got any sense, he'll insert that. It's almost like putting a little prenup in there, isn't it? You know what I mean? Just in case it goes a bit wrong, mate. I'm out. Just with us, we've got. I remember saying that we had a lot of players out. Obviously, we know that Ronaldo will probably play. He's been training. Varane's been back in training today. Well, last couple of days, I saw him clapping in training, looking good. So it looks like he's back. And Scott McTominay as well. So we've been without those 3.
There you go.
We've been without Fred. We've been without Luke Shaw. We've been without Cavani. No, Fred's not back.
I think he's been
big miss.
I'd be more worried if he's back in more than McTominay, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I agree. So a little bit of team news from us. We've managed to get a few players back in.
Hannibal Lecter. I mean, that's what I was calling him.
He wanted to eat.
That's what I called him the other day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's moving like Hannibal Lecter. No.
There'll be no Pogba either, will he?
There'll be no Pogba. No. Yeah. There's no Pogba. I don't think he starts Hannibal Lecter. No, I think he. It's a toss-up between Rashford and Elanga on the right. Ronaldo will go back up front, and Sancho will start on left.
Yeah, we got to be watchful, man. Varane coming back. He's quality. He's an upgrade on Phil Jones, obviously. So listen, we got to be watchful, but I just want Arsenal to just go out there and be intense, intense from the beginning. Just go for it, and then if we do that, we've got a great shot at winning the game, which is a game that we really need to win. We really, really need to win that game. We can't.
Do you think you get top 4?
If we win that game, we've got a great chance of getting top 4. I really do feel. I thought. After the 3 defeats the other day, I was like, you know what? If we don't beat Chelsea, forget it. It's over. So I think if we beat Chelsea, beat you, then we go away to West Ham next week. That's going to be a tough game, they'll be, they got the Europa League sort of mixed up in that as well. Will that have a bearing on it? I think if we can get 7 points out of those games, we've already got 3 points out of the Chelsea. We can get 7 points. Well, actually, no. I don't think we're gonna. We need.
Steady on.
Listen, if we can get another 6 points, I think we've got a great chance of getting into that top 4
within the next.
It may all come down to that game against Tottenham that we play. Before the end of the season, we still got to go away to Newcastle. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
We got Leeds at home. We got Everton at home. So we got
fighting for their lives.
We got a chance, man. We got a great chance of getting the top 4. I saw Mikel Arteta said to the players, do you want to get into the top 4? That's what I've been asking for weeks. Do you want it? They showed me against Chelsea, they won it. Now show me against United.
Keep showing me the last 5 games. That's what you got to do.
5 games to go.
That's what you got to do.
5 games to go, Arsenal, man. You know what I mean?
Well, we've dropped out. We've said you.
Well, you ain't dropped out.
We
yet.
have.
Yes,
Robbie. I really wish
I told you,
to me.
stop it, man. Stop it. I'm not buying it.
I really wish. I'm not. You think I'm keep doing this reverse psychology thing?
I'm not buying it.
I'll say it now. I said it earlier.
You're saying it because because of the other night, right?
No, I'm not just saying it because of the other night.
Performances.
No, I'm not saying. That's one thing I'm not doing. That's what I think you need to realise. What Man United fans are doing at this moment is not reacting off a bad loss to Liverpool, That was expected. That's what's even worse. That was normal. Before this has been happening a long time. We're in the mud. Prince says, can you imagine United are going through the worst season? And what is the point difference from a decent Arsenal?
No, who said it? No, but I
basically
think
saying that we're in our worst.
No, but you see, I just said to him, we've also lost. We've lost 11. We've lost more games than Man United.
Yeah,
we've lost 11. But my point that I'd make to you, you see, this is the thing where, what was his name?
It was Prince.
Prince. This is the problem, right? Why you will never fix your problems when you're looking on it like, imagine we're having our worst season, but we're they're only 3 points above us, but what you need to look at, and is what I've been looking at this season. I've kind of, and this is all part of that sort of process of patience. I've kind of taken a lot of results out of my psyche and said, what I'm going to focus on is performances. And I've seen a lot of good performances from Arsenal. I've seen games, when we lost to Liverpool at home, I thought we played well. They're just better than us.
Man City
same against Man City, I thought we did not, even the City fans were going, you didn't deserve to lose that game. Probably a draw might have been a fairer. So I'm seeing improvements in performances. We've gone away to Chelsea, we put in a performance. I don't think you can say the same for United. I think you can look at United and you can say Cristiano Ronaldo was brilliant, or this individual was brilliant, or that individual, De Gea, was brilliant. But I think with Arsenal, there's been games, and not enough of them, but there's been quite a portion of games that I've looked at this season where I've been like, I've liked the team performance, how we've tried to play, even in a game when we've lost, how we've tried to play, how we've fought, the spirit amongst the players, right? We know we ain't got the superstar players you've got. We know we still got a way to go. I think you need to look on it like that. You're fooling yourself if you're just saying, oh, well, terrible season, we're only 3 points off them. That's when you're not going to make no progress. Look at your team first. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, that's what we got to do. Jesse W says, United are not good, Robbie. These players let us down time and time again. We have no chance of top four, even if it's possible mathematically. Mentality isn't there, and players aren't playing for anything. And that is the thing that you won't.
I get it. No,
yeah.
do you know what I mean?
That is literally a true reflection.
I've not seen performances.
Squad.
I've watched a lot of United games in the Premier League, in the Champions League. I've seen for myself that the team are not playing as a team. It's just a load of individuals out there freestyling, right? I've seen that, right? But also, United have still got a chance at the top four because you've got a fragile Tottenham and a fragile Arsenal, right? So whilst that exists, I remember that year when you got ahead of Leicester.
Yeah, they were 14 points ahead of us at one point.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, individuals could push you.
Robbie,
and then...
We ain't got it, mate.
But the problem, what happens sometimes is then you then gas yourself up and say, yeah, man, actually,
right.
you know what I mean? When actually you weren't.
If we get a result against you, even I would be out. I would be speechless.
Well, I hope you don't. Listen, I hope
I'll be speechless.
I hope, I personally think we'll win the game. I am feeling confident, but we lost our previous 3 to the last game we lost. So I can't be here talking with super duper confidence. I'm just saying, I just want our team to go out there, put in a sort of performance like what I saw the other night. I think if we do that, we beat Man United.
Prince has something else to say to you. What have you done now?
I knew he'd come back.
You're doing a tie now. Prince says, Robbie, you lot spent 150 million last summer before
doing it again.
Before you got world-class Partey, paid a huge amount for Oba and Laka. Arsenal spends much.
Spends as much as what? As Man United spent over £1 billion. Listen, again, I said, your focus is all wrong, mate. You're worrying about us, right? We're on a rebuild. That 150 million that we spent last summer has been a good spend, right? Tomiyasu, been excellent this season, and he's under 20 million. Ben White, 50 million. People say we spent a lot of money on him. I'd say he's better than Maguire, right?
He's performing better than Maguire,
and I think he's going to get better in the future, right? I've been, speak to Arsenal fans. They're happy with Ben White. It was an expensive spend, but that was the only way we were gonna get him. Aaron Ramsdale has been an excellent signing. He's been one of our better players this season. Nuno Tavares, despite them 2 games where you see him get hauled off, I think he's done all right. When he came in earlier on in the season for Kieran Tierney, he did well. And, he did well again last night. He's a very young player, but he's been not bad. So I'm looking at the signings, Sambi Lokonga is one for the future. I'm looking at the signings we made. They weren't bad. If I compare them to your signings, Ronaldo has been brilliant, but you spent £80 million on Sancho. He hasn't done it. Varane hasn't really done it. So, I don't think you're in a position to talk about our signings right now, because I look at our signings and I see them as more progressive. And going back to the thing that we was chatting about Liverpool earlier, there was some under-radar signings that they made, like Robertson's the one I always look at. And guys like this, nobody thought that, how much would he be worth now, Robertson? So, you know, it's not just, you're getting it all mixed up, bro. You know what I mean? It's
Robbie
not
and
just,
Prince just keep going
it's
out
not
or
just
what?
about, you know what I mean, just
Yeah.
spreading the money like that. United have tried that and it's failed. I think United need another plan now. They need to, you know, try and bring in what is required. Listen, I hope you don't do it. 'Cause I like when United are in the mud.
Yeah, we don't want to
I'm an
see
Arsenal
from you.
fan, you know what I mean? But if just as a neutral fan, when I look at Manchester United, I'm like, how can you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again? That's stupidity.
It's got to change.
You keep throwing money, having money, but there's no plan.
We are going to need money to get out of this now, but it's got to be the right type of money
maybe with a
spent,
Ten
you know?
Hag thing now.
Yeah.
Now there's a bit of a plan, but
Yeah.
you know, that's you got to leave the guy to do his thing.
Bertrand says, big up Robbie, I appreciate your honesty. You're speaking facts. Arsenal have had a great recruitment lately. That's from a Manchester United fan. And Travarelli says, wages are the true correlation to Premier League success and not the transfer fees. This is a false narrative. Well, we've got the one of the most expensive wage bills in the league.
It's both. I mean, we've reduced our wage bill a lot with the players that we've brought in as well and the players that we've moved out. You know, listen, we've still got a long way to go, Arsenal. You know what I mean? We still lack some real quality in certain areas, right? I hope that we can get it done. But it's I definitely feel that, you know, listen, it's taking even too long for me, right, at Arsenal. I want to see it quicker.
You do need something now. What I will say is there's over 1,700 people watching live.
Yeah, big up.
Smash a like on the video. This is where, Josh, if we was doing it on a different stream, we would jump in. Mike Phelan would be there and say, listen, there's over 1,700 people watching and there's only 370 odd likes. What's going on?
Like the
I
video.
know you guys are having a great time enjoying the content. Josh is shouting. I can hear him in my earpiece, in the new studio. He's saying disgraceful. And make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't done it already.
Good channel, man.
We've been literally flying recently and we want to keep that trajectory going and build on that momentum. If Arteta having said all of that, all of the stuff you said I agree with, you know, you got a bit of a plan in there. You could see the type of players he was trying to get rid of the big egos like Aubameyang, Lacazette probably be next, them senior guys, and work with some young up and coming hungry guys. I get that. Having said that, a lot of Arsenal fans probably thought, you know, sixth at best, let's try to get into Europe. But then the expectation changed because it rose, and rightly so, because of the run you went on and where you are on the table, rightly so. If he doesn't get top four and finishes sixth, or worse, he doesn't even get Europe from this position, just finishes like seventh or something, or fifth and gets Europa League or something. Not seventh,
conference,
sorry, fifth or gets Europa, or eighth, something like that.
Eighth's no Europe, innit?
All right, okay, that's really bad. But what my question is how do you judge him if at the beginning of the season you were like, well, we'd be good to get sixth, but then for most of the season you're in with a shout for top four, then you just about don't get it. Is that a failure or is it not? How do you judge it?
Start of the season, when I looked at Arsenal's team and I looked at the other teams, I looked at United, Chelsea, Man City, you know, Liverpool, that was your top four. Even when I looked at Tottenham, I was like, you know, their team's a little bit stronger than ours right now. So I was like looking at it, saying a top six finish is what Mikel Arteta should be at least trying to do, you know? Like you said, we've had a chance now. We've been well placed to get a top four finish. I think if he doesn't achieve that, we're going to have to look back at some of his failings. I don't think he loses his job. I don't think he loses his job if he finishes outside the top six. Sorry, if he finishes in the top six, I think, you know.
Outside the top six, if he finishes seventh.
But if I do feel that if he finishes like another eighth, you have to look at him. You know what I mean? You've got to look at Mikel Arteta and say to yourself, is this the right guy? That's the only natural thing to do. That's the only right thing to do because, you know, you're not seeing progress then. So last year we didn't get no European football. We've got to get that. That's first and foremost. But I do think if he doesn't get top four, it's a missed opportunity because
Sufan's saying, it's a failure if he doesn't get top four this season. Arsenal put on it if they don't make it.
I think failure might be too much of harsh word. It might be
a week for a long time.
Yeah, I think, but you would have expected United to get in the top 4. But I'd look on it and I'd say it's a missed opportunity rather than a failure. And the missed opportunity, where I've really been a bit critical of Mikel Arteta, is I thought in January we should have strengthened, and we didn't. And I think that could be the thing that could come back to bite us, because we were sort of had a team that was playing and everyone was fit for, since January, and then Thomas Partey's out, Tierney's out, and all of a sudden we saw a dip over those 3 games. And I think had we have had a stronger squad, if we'd have strengthened 1 or 2, maybe brought, a striker in and a good midfielder player in January, I think we could be comfortably getting into that top 4. But now we're struggling to get into it. But let's see where we end up at the end of the season. But certainly, listen, I'm a football fan and I'm an Arsenal fan, and for Arsenal should be a team, a massive club like us should be getting into the top 4, right? That's minimum, and I want to see Arsenal Football Club challenging for the league, but I'm a realist. At the moment, we're not there yet.
I don't think either of us are going to do it.
We're not
whilst
there.
Pep and Klopp are there.
We're not there. You know what I mean? You got Liverpool and Man City. They're miles above everybody else. Then you got Chelsea. Even though we beat them last night, they're ahead. They're in the next batch. And then in the next batch after that, you got you guys, us, Tottenham, West Ham.
Yeah.
That's the next batch. And then there's another batch just under that, Wolves and teams like that. So, you know what I mean? And you see with a lot of these teams, their squads are not good enough. They get a couple of injuries. So it happened to us. And it happened to, like, even a Wolves. They've lost Neves and a couple of key players like that. Then they get a dip. That's where I think United really have failed, because your squad's better. You should have been comfortably, I feel, in the top 4 this season.
Absolutely.
Because of your squad. But yeah, the jury is still out on Mikel Arteta. I'm a guy as well. I don't just judge it off a one game and a game there. I look at it at the end of the season. So at the end of the season, I want to see where we're at.
Yeah, okay.
Season's not finished yet. We still got 4 or 5 games. If we get into the top 4, I'm like, hey, listen, you overachieved this season.
I was going to say it's an overachievement.
We lost our first 3 games. There's a lot of United fans coming at me talking about relegation. Right? So if
hadn't even scored a goal by that point as well. I remember going to no goals.
Yeah, listen. Right? And then we had January. That was peak as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were knocked out of the FA Cup.
But that's what annoys me. That you've had them rough times and still managed to show.
But we go on.
Some
but then we
we
lift it again and we go. But
together.
I feel that's where Arsenal's team is lacking a couple of killers in the team, and a couple of world class players that can drag because we're relying on a lot of young players, and that's always going to inevitably happen. You need the mixture, and I hope that's what we can address in the summer.
South East London gunner. There are a lot of Arsenal fans in the chat today. Okay, that says Emery missed out on top 4 with 1 pen. If Oba scored that pen against Arsenal, against Spurs, I remember that. Yeah. He would have got top 4, and he still got sacked.
You know what we missed out? I mean, when you look at it, right, it was we actually lost to Palace and then drew with Brighton. And that's what cost us it, really.
I remember the meme of, not Basuma, was it Basuma or one of them other players? I can't remember his name. He had the hair that ties out and he was laughing at one of the players on the floor.
Do you know the thing with Unai Emery, and I've heard a lot of this, right? But again, when you just say it like that, it seems like it.
Yeah.
But when you say it in the context of things, he lost. Remember, we didn't sack him straight away after he missed out at that time. See, this is why you got to be careful.
Wasn't it after you went out in Europa League?
We went out into the Europa League. So a lot of people at the time actually were saying, you know what, the fact that we missed out on the top 4 and we got beaten by Chelsea in the Europa League, he should be gone.
Oh yeah, Europa League final.
Yeah, people forget that.
Forgot about that.
And they didn't sack him. they kept him into the new season.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until about October he got sacked. He had a horrible run. So please, the context... It's like stats, isn't it? You can just see stats and go, ooh.
Yeah.
But the context of things is that he lost the dressing room. He lost the place. He wasn't the right fit. I'm glad to see him doing well at Villarreal because I do think he's a good manager. But that goes back to what we was talking about with Ten Hag and all things like that. You got some managers that fit certain clubs.
Yeah.
He fits Villarreal. He didn't fit Arsenal.
Jay Lings fam, thanks for the super chat, says, how long do you think Maguire will be at United? I don't know. I can't answer the question. I actually can't answer the question. I think if Ten Hag, people even saying, do you think Ten Hag will strip him of the captaincy? If there was ever going to be a captaincy change in a new look Man United, it's easier for a new manager to walk straight in and do it. Exactly. Do you go back to David De Gea because he's just the longest serving and the most stable? He's had the captaincy before. Do you give it to Ronaldo for a year? Do you try and give it to Bruno? I think there's warning signs there. But when it ain't going right for Bruno, he turns on a lot of people. He starts getting petulant.
Blames everyone else out.
I don't know if that's the right thing. And that's the problem. That's the whole reason Maguire got the flipping thing in the first place. Because when Maguire arrived and Ashley Young kind of left in that time, because Ashley Young left in the January and we got Maguire in the summer, there was no obvious candidates. There was no real leaders. And obviously I didn't agree with him getting it, but at the time I wasn't like, oh my God, it's a disgrace, because obviously he hadn't played that bad yet. But the reason why Oli gave it to him was at the time there's probably not many leaders in this team, which we look at the team and there's no leaders. You can't give it to Luke Shaw. You can't give it to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You can't give it to Fred. You can't give it to Bruno, really. Well, maybe Bruno. You can't give it to Rashford. You can't give it to Martial. You can't give it to Sancho. Who can you give it to? Cavani's never there, don't even speaking. You can't, there's no stability across the whole team. So you only go back to maybe a De Gea just because he's been there long. Do you know what I mean? There's no real, he's a wicked captain, he'll get them. But some people say McTominay just because he runs around and can kick people, but he's not good enough. It's just not it. Who? Hannibal. Yeah, exactly. And Rohan says, United View will soon get 1 million subscribers. Screenshot this. Big up, man. Wicked show, Robbie, man. Wicked show. Having said everything we've spoken about, we've both gone through our teams. I've gone through mine. You've gone through yours. A lot of people have said Flex has been so negative today. Let me know in the comments, actually. Do you think I'm being too pessimistic? Have you guys calmed down since the Liverpool game? Since the other games, since scraping against Norwich? Have you forgot about those games, or do you feel like, no, Flex, there's still something in it with Arsenal? We should be a little bit optimistic. Am I throwing in am I waving the white flag too early? Let me know what you lot think. This is your community, I want to know. But I've emotionally checked out. I told you guys that a long time ago in all the reactions I've had. I think the last final one was probably the Everton one. I was like, that's it. It's over for me. But I have been really negative today. That's just how I feel about the team. I can't hide that. There's going to be a combined 11 tomorrow as well. We'll be doing that with James and another special guest. I'll let you guys see that tomorrow. We'll be doing that as well. So make sure you guys tune in for that. You can find that tomorrow. Combined 11, Arsenal, Man United. Ooh, bloody hell.
Who's in goal? That's an interesting one.
I don't know how many Man United players get into that. We'll have to. Do we do it on form? Do we do it on when they're fit? I don't know. We'll decide that tomorrow. Give me a prediction.
I'm going to go for 3-1 to Arsenal. I think if we're on it, if we're really, really on it like we were the other night, come with the intensity and that, at home, so much to play for, so much for both teams, but so much now. All of a sudden, we've gone from doom and gloom where you guys were to having something now really there to hold on to. I fancy us on Saturday. I'm going 3-1.
LV says 3-1 laughing emojis. Behave, Robbie. Anon says delusional. Alex says 2-0 Arsenal.
We've got a good record against Manchester United at home.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm being delusional. I just think if we I think we're chomping at the bit for that game. I really do. Again, Cristiano Ronaldo, Sancho, all these players. I respect these players. These are brilliant players. But we're playing better football as a team. So that's why I'm going for it. And we're at home.
Yeah. I'm going to be consistent with what I thought. I've been negative the whole time. I'm not going to change. I think we'll lose about 2-0.
Negative, man. Jesus, you are negative.
Yeah, it's just how I feel, man.
I know the feeling,
with
man.
Ronaldo on the pitch, yes, something can happen.
I get
but
it, right?
we still got to give him something.
I've had these feelings a few times this season.
I just can't see it. I don't see where it's going to come from.
A few times this season I've had that feeling. And, the last couple of games. But funny enough, again, I say based it on performances, after the Southampton game, which we lost, I actually predicted that I think we might beat Chelsea because I saw a better performance from Arsenal. I saw them being a lot braver. They just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net against Southampton. And I think that's the other thing. Arsenal were very brave in their performance and aggressive against Chelsea. I don't see why they're not going to be like that against Man United as well.
No reason. Fragile
Got to go
Man
for it,
United,
man.
yeah?
It's a cup final. We got to go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you guys like the video as well. Like I said, 1,700 people watching. I want to see them likes fly
Big
up. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Got more content coming at you guys very, very soon. And check out the Invincibles podcast, which I've done over at AFTV as well. Make sure you guys check out AFTV. You guys know where they are. And we'll be back tomorrow with more content with you guys, man. Take care. We're out of here. Peace.